Well, the farm saga rages on, if you can say that, meaning we still have water issues, no doubt. And you know, the water issues come from, this is the end of my berm. So all this water back here in the woods that comes from the back of the property somewhere got inside my berm. So my ditches here that are about 2 to 3 feet deep. Oh, oil slick there. I wonder where that came from. Anyway, ditch all the way along the edge here, which is where the berm came from. We dug a ditch, piled the dirt to the outside. Ditch is full of water, so full that it backed up actually onto the pad itself. So I had hoped, you know, optimistically, but really didn't expect it, to be able to get out here and start digging the pond this weekend. But certainly if my contractor drove out here, he would get mad at me for wasting his time and sending him out here with it looking like this. So not going to happen. The survey crew is supposed to come out here, and you know, I think I'm going to call them off too, because I can't expect them to slop around in this. It's just too much water. So I don't know what to do. Maybe we'll get a pump and set it up somewhere over on the far side of the ditch and try pumping out over that direction, and maybe the water won't find its way all the way back around the berm to get in. That's assuming that it can't percolate, you know, underneath the berm through a sandy soil. I don't know that it's doing that. I don't really think it is. I think it really did all just come in right here and fill up. I mean, I know water comes from the back of the property and comes this direction, which is frustrating because the bayou is through the woods about a mile that way, but water still comes this way. Which is why we've got a real challenge on our hands with this property as far as developing it, digging the pond, fixing the drainage, and then figuring out, you know, I think at some point we're going to have to be wondering how to dispose of water, because there's so much water that the pond is going to fill up really quick, and then we're going to be right back where we started with water problems. So, you know, the house will be high and dry 3 feet above everything else, but the woods and all the surrounding properties are going to be full of water, and that's going to get frustrating with mosquitoes. So anyway, you know, I wish the guys would have dug the berm all the way around. I thought about having them do it, but then we ran out of time, and I was like, you know what? The west and the north side are the worst. That's where the water comes from. That's what I was thinking, and I mean, I was right. But now the water is all everywhere because everything that wanted to go that direction couldn't cut through my property like it wanted to, so it all ran down here behind the berm. I'm certain that's what happened. So anyway, we've got too much water for sure, and we've got possibly 1 inch of rain coming in 2 days again, so that won't help anything. So I don't know, I suppose I'll be back out here. Today's Tuesday. I'll probably come out here Friday after the rain lets up and see what I can do, rent a pump or something and just pump all this mess out, or try to. Anyway, I've got to try to do something, because the ditch, the purpose of the drain ditch was to get water to drain off of the pad, so the work site would stay drier. But if the ditch is full of water, obviously it doesn't work. So I kind of have an obligation to come out here and at a minimum pump the ditch out, which sucks to spend money on a pump rental to come do that, you know, expecting that it probably will fill back up with another heavy rain, but maybe we can get it pumped out and catch 2 weeks of relative dryness, and this will dry out enough. You know, just as soon as the equipment can get in here and start digging the pond, all this can run into the pond. I don't care. But the problem is that we can't ever get a break to get it dry enough to even get the equipment in here to start digging a hole. We can't even get that far. So I don't know. We'll see what comes of it. Just to give you all a little more perspective of what the end result will be. See water all down in there where it's the original grade, water all through my ditch here, and out there where it's the original grade. But here we've got a high point, right? This was a dirt pile left from the last time they logged or cleared or did whatever, but clearly it's about, you know, a foot above grade, or at least a foot above the fluid line, the water line. And you know, we're planning on going even higher than that. We're going up at least 2 feet, if not 3. But let me just jump over here and hope I don't fall in the puddle doing it and see. Yeah. So I'm now on essentially what will be the pad, and it's solid. It's every bit workable, every bit solid. And we've had, our last big rain was, you know, not quite a week ago, and it rained off and on for about 2 weeks before that. It was cloudy, so it definitely has only been drying out for a couple of days, and this is every bit walkable, workable, drivable. This is solid ground. So you know that's the glimmer of hope that I have, that this will work someday at some point. we'll get it all built up and it will be just fine. I mean, we'll still have to deal with all the water that comes through the woods and figure out how to route that and drain it properly so that, you know, again, we don't have a swamp out in the woods, because that'll be a mosquito haven. But again, you know, the point being, we got a lot of work ahead of us, and you know, in hindsight's always 20/20, but in hindsight, we got really cheap acreage, and this is why. Because, you know, had I known that it would be this much trouble in the past, I'd have paid twice as much for acreage that I didn't have to do all this fooling with. But the fact is, now we bought it, nobody else is going to buy it, we're stuck with it, so we're just going to have to suck it up and deal with it.